What's good, y'all? The boy Iron Angel here with another movie review. Like I said, I like to give one a week, at least one a week. If I do more, than cool, but at least I want to give y'all one a week. Something new I'm doing on the channel if you haven't noticed. But I didn't go to the theaters today or this week at all. On that note, I did forget something, which I apologize. A while ago, when I first started this series I'm doing, I was reacting to all the Mortal Kombat Legend movies, and I realized I reacted to every one except Snowblind. And I apologize. I said I was going to react to them all and then give y'all what my rankings of them. There's only 4, so my bad. So what I did was I rewatched it, and that's how I did all of these Mortal Kombat Legends. When I did the review, I watched them already, but just to refresh my memory, I watched them all. Started with that latest one with Johnny Cage, which I do remember saying that was my favorite one. And anyway, so before I get to rankings, let me tell you how I feel about Snowblind. But again, my bad for taking so long with this review. But perfect time because I didn't even go to the theaters this week. I remember saying that the last one of Legends, yeah, Johnny Cage, that one was my favorite. After watching Snowblind, I definitely had to change my mind on that one. First off, let me throw this out of the way that all of them are good. I thought the Johnny Cage one was really was better. Dude, like art style, the story, like it was different. One thing, and actually I don't want to get too much into it because I'm gonna spoil Snowblind, but the art style, story, character, Johnny Cage voice actor, I thought they did very good. Then I rewatched Snowblind, and I had to take my vote for putting that Johnny Cage one at the top. I had to change that after watching Snowblind. Snowblind, watching it again is really good. And I have a lot of love and respect to these Elseworld Mortal Kombat stories. All right, so quick overview of the movie without spoiling anything, because y'all should definitely watch this. Mortal Kombat Snowblind, I just said it, is an Elseworld story. And it involves Kenshi. Kenshi is the main character of the movie. Definitely not the only character. There's a lot of characters from the Mortal Kombat roster in this movie, but the one thing that I love is that these characters are having different plots than usual. Like I said, it's an Elseworld story, but it's during a post-apocalyptic time, that's ran by Kano, which is interesting. I'll never forget when I first saw that. I was like, you know what? A world ran by Kano, I could definitely see this being the case, you know. But in the middle of all of it, Kenshi has this sort of Johnny Cage cockiness to him. Not to that... Well, he has a cocky flavor to him, not to the level of Johnny Cage, but close to it. But he's young and, he believes, he's untouchable and all that stuff. But you also can tell that there's something bothering him of his life that makes him not care about it. Talking about his life. He doesn't care about his life so much that he puts himself in harm's way. It has a cockiness about him, but that cockiness is covered by hurt that he's dealing with. Yeah, it basically evolves around him showing how he got his blindfold. Like I said, it's an Elseworld story, so it's not the way that you would think. And he meets a trainer who winds up being Sub-Zero, who, by the way, I gotta say, I know Kenshi was the main character of the movie, but Sub-Zero and Scorpion stole the show for me. Shocker, right? Because, let's be real. They usually do with the Mortal Kombat movies. It was just the direction they went with Sub-Zero and Scorpion was different. I really love Elseworld because you can create something different and give them a different flavor. And this one was, which is kind of weird to say for a Mortal Kombat movie, this one was sort of darker because of the... Sorry, ran into a little issue. Sorry, where was I at? I said the movie was darker than usual, which is kind of weird to say for Mortal Kombat. But it was done well. The characters that, even outside of Kenshi, the storyline with Sub-Zero to me had more... I'm not going to front. The story with Sub-Zero had a little bit more heart to it. And this is why, like I said before I had issues with my recording here, this is why I love Elseworld stories, because you can go a different route to something that's usually not the same with the original story. And I always was confused why they never took Elseworld kind of stories or build towards the original franchise of Mortal Kombat, because let's be real, when you watch Mortal Kombat, like the first 2 movies of Mortal Kombat Legends, you get all these characters, they join in Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang is the chosen one. Raiden, we get the same kind of story. They might change it up a little bit, but overall it's the same. These Elseworld stories, it had me engaged because you wanted to know why is Kenshi dealing with what he's dealing with, what's going on with Sub-Zero, that he's in this depressed state of this depressed state of his life. What does Scorpion want? Because I will say this without spoiling nothing, Scorpion was in this movie very little, but it was just right. It was just right. He had I love this different style of Scorpion. So he had this big, brute, dark with the hoodie. Just you see like eyes, kind of untouchable kind of character, and I liked it. I ain't gonna front. It was different than the regular Shirai Ryu ninja style, but I was digging it. Him, like I said, him and Sub-Zero, which is not a surprise because they usually are the main focus of Mortal Kombat, but they was done very well. But without spoiling anything, this was a good movie. Was it out of this world with its story? No. But the way they took certain characters was surprising, entertaining, and the action was really good too. And I have to say this. This probably had one of the most shocking, greatest Mortal Kombat shocking moments in Mortal Kombat history. There's how I don't want to spoil. All right, I'll put it to you this way because y'all should see this movie. I should definitely see it. There's a scene with Kano and Shang Tsung that threw me in a loop. I was like, because you think it's going one way, and then it just turns the page quickly. And it made me laugh in a weird way. Like when you see the scene, you're like, why is he laughing? But the more you think about it, you're like, okay. And you just sit there like, dang. Did not see that coming, but that I ain't gonna front. That had been one of the greatest, and this is from an Elseworld story, so it's not even part of the actual canon, but that scene had to be one of the greatest. Whoever came up with that idea needs a raise because you didn't expect it. You thought I almost spoiled it right there. You thought something was going to happen that usually would, but it didn't, and it went whole left field. And instead of it being intense and all that, I was laughing and surprised at the same. I was surprised and laughing at the same time, but this movie had it all, in my opinion. It had heart. I think the comedy fell right, and they didn't overdo it. Because, like I said, Kenji had a little cockiness to him, but it wasn't long-lasting, and it wasn't like, some things are at the wrong place at the wrong time. It wasn't like that, And the building arc of Kenshi was good. But to be real, and this is why I love Mortal Kombat, because they have so many characters. To be real, the movie wasn't focused totally on him. Yeah, you see him in the cover and stuff like that, but you wanted to know other characters, and the movie gave you details of other characters. Who, I'm not going to spoil everything. Even though the stuff people I spoil is not really... I mean, no, they showed Scorpion in the trailer, I believe, before. But he's not in there as much as you think, so don't get your hopes up that he's in the whole movie. He's not. But they give you a good taste of different characters too that I love, because you like with the original Mortal Kombat story, you usually get the same kind of characters, the same kind of villains for the most part. Here you get the other ones that was in the back burner, which I do love and appreciate. Tremor was in here. I thought that was cool. I like Tremor in this movie, but yeah, they did a really good job. Like I said, the action was on point. Definitely go watch them all. They're all good, but now that we're on that about all of them are good, let me give you my rankings for these movies. There was no bad one, but after watching Snowblind again, Snowblind has to be number one. It was between that one and the different story of Johnny Cage, the latest one, because I really like that one too. I like when they go different routes with stuff instead of doing the same thing, because usually with Mortal Kombat, you get the same story. That's why I appreciated the Mortal Kombat 1 game, because they made a different universe and it was a different story. It wasn't the same thing. And I appreciate that, even though a lot of it was over the top, but it's Mortal Kombat. It's a video game. It's not real. You can go over the top if you want. But I would have to say, as a whole package, Snowblind was number one. I had Johnny Cage at number one for a while. I take it back. After rewatching Snowblind, Snowblind's number one. Then the Johnny Cage was number 2. And by the way, I noticed that a lot of people didn't like that one with Johnny Cage. I thought it was really good, but that's my opinion. And then I would say Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. I still think that was really good. But what makes it number 3 was some of the execution of the Mortal Kombat fights. The Mortal Kombat fights in Scorpion's Revenge was very, very, very weak. Johnny Cage versus Baraka was an insult. Y'all know I'm a Johnny Cage fan. And the way they did him and Baraka was an insult. I enjoy Sonya versus Reptile, but it desired more. That like the battles were very quick, and you didn't get enough of character development, even with the fights. Like, I ain't gonna front. One of my favorite battles in Mortal Kombat when it comes to the Mortal Kombat event in the movies is Johnny Cage versus Scorpion in the 1995 movie. That is how you do a battle in Mortal Kombat. And to get that in 1995, but then in Scorpion's Revenge, almost 20 years later, you get that one with him and Baraka. That was like, it looked lazy and rushed to me. So I think that's what also dropped the numbers down. Scorpion and his story with, Quan Chi and Sub-Zero and all that made it really good. I enjoyed that, and I loved Raiden. Raiden and Scorpion's Revenge was very good. Because they always seem like for story, for character art, for plot, they always lower the strength of Raiden. In that one, nah, you could tell he was the man. But yeah, Scorpion's Revenge, and then the second one, which was, Mortal Kombat Legends 2. What was the name of the Battle of the Realms, I think it was called? That one was the least favorite. All of them were good, but Battle of the Realms, it was good. It didn't have that standout moment for me. And then the ending was very disappointing. The ending, the last battle, that was very disappointing, in my opinion. But the movie in itself was good. I love they had smoke in there, and you got more of Cyrax and Sector in this one, and all this other stuff. You got more characters, Stryker, even though, sorry Stryker, in that movie. But yeah, Snowblind. I forgot the title of the one with Johnny Cage. That's why I just keep saying Johnny Cage. Then Scorpion's Revenge, and then Battle of the Realms. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing more. Hopefully they keep making them. I want more Elseworld stories. I like that. Either that or keep building toward the original story. Because, let me know in the comments, has there ever been comics of Mortal Kombat? I don't think so. And I've read a lot of comics, but mostly for me it was DC and Marvel. But I don't think there was any Mortal Kombat comics. Let me know in the comments. Y'all can, you can let me know. My point of saying that was, I don't know if there's more story to Mortal Kombat outside of what we know already, what they keep repeating outside the Elseworld. So if there is more story that was in the comics or whatever, let's see that. Instead of always the same, time for Mortal Kombat. All right, everybody come together. We fight the villains. We fight Shang Tsung. We fight Shao Kahn. It's over. Let's get more story. If not, let's get some Elseworld stories like Snowblind. I thought they did that very well. And there's a surprise situation at the end of Snowblind that I don't want to say anything, but that was cool because it attached itself like to the video game of MK11. I'll just leave it at that. And I thought that was cool, but yeah, I love these Elseworld stories, and I'm all down for it. So if you're going to continue with the original canon, then let's get more than the original what we've seen already millions of times. Or let's get the Elseworld. Anyway, I enjoyed them all. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you feel about it. And what was your favorite from top to bottom? All right, but I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.